Yeah, I'm hoping that this thing's working now. I hope. Because, yeah, my Wi-Fi went down. Sometimes I think YouTube is just being all, your connection's unstable. Just to, just throw random BS at me. But your connection's unstable. Okay, I mean, I'm straight to YouTube, but what else is new? But anyway. No wonder I can't go backwards, because this stupid bloody rug is in the way. Okay, let's try this again. But more to the right. Here we go. Hello, Kayla. Gosh. I hate Arizona. It's too bloody hot. Anyway. So I kind of had the idea, just me in the side of the head, to actually revisit Venus again. Venus again? Sheesh, why don't you just marry the planet? Well, it's my soul significator planet, so deal with it. But no seriousness though. Nowadays, people kind of only think of I have no other better way of saying it. People only think about the basic stuff about Venus. The basic stuff like, gemstones, crystals, beauty apparatuses, fashion, arts, media, fame, fragrances, relationships, sensuality, and all that little cheesy woozy woo stuff. But little do they know that on the deepest level, Venus actually is so much more than just whirly woozy wooey. Way more than just that. But anyway, so I'm going to give it just a little bit of time so that way people can realize, oh, finally he's live 3,000 years later. Hello, Annie. Hello, Michael. Hello, Venus and Healing. Hello, Laura. Hello, Battle Foxy. Did you bring your Foxy axe? Axe. Oh, wait. Oh, God. That was a fail. That awkward moment when you realize, oh, wait a minute. My microphone. Let it go. My microphone was facing this way to the wall. I'm like, I think there's something wrong with this picture. About the face. Yeah, I was in Boy Scouts, okay? I know. Don't you even say a word. Oh, maybe that's how, you got them, magical rainbow status of yours. No. Mm-mm. A lot of the ones that were in the troop, I wouldn't even touch with a 50-inch pole. Oh, that's not vulgar. But anyway. So, since there's already who just whistled at me? I heard something whistle like, oh, please don't catcall me. I don't know you like that, and I don't want to know you like that. So skedaddle, cupcake. Anyway. So, since there's already a good handful of people in here, hold my wine glass and let's get this shenanigan on the road. Alrighty, so we'll get the realistic, typical stuff out of the way and out of our life. So, the second planet from Surya, or the sun, the big ball of flaming hot Allure Lanta, is Venus. And as, some people would say, Venus, oh, that's the planet of, love, beauty, and the Roman goddess equal to exactly like Aphrodite, which is totally not, oh, we're just going to take this and put a different name on her. Good job, Rome. It's very slick. But no seriousness, though. Some people say that Venus is kind of like Earth's twin, but if it got sent to hell, which kind of is ironic when people say that, because let me get to that part. You'll see why. But the landscape of Venus is actually very high, well, at least what scientists say. As far as I'm concerned, how do you guys know it's like that? Have you put your footsie on there? Oh wait, you can't because you'll disintegrate. Supposedly, the surface of Venus is extremely hot, and the atmosphere keeps the heat in. You definitely know she knows how to, keep the heat going. Well, that went nowhere. But anyway, so as a planet, Venus is the second from the Sun. The first is Buta, or Mercury, the little hyperactive playboy planet. That's what it is. Don't look at me. I didn't write this stuff. It is what it is. Just go with it. But anyway, when it comes to, say, in terms of like astrology wise. Oh wait, another thing about Venus. Believe it or not, it's also known as an outcast planet. Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, is an outcast. Based on how her rotation is around the sun, everybody spins one way. Uranus, but then again, Uranus is like that court jester that's like this instead of like everybody else. Venus, as everybody spins this way, Venus spins the other way, and she takes quite a bit of time to completely spin all the way. And that alone actually contributes to her significance. So with that in mind, Venus actually has an energy that moves slow and steady. So with that, we can see Venus wants to take its time and enjoy and notice everything and see the beauty in everything, because she spins so slow. Kind of like like when something moves extremely slow, it's like, is it even moving? Yeah, kind of like that. That's how slow she spins. But because she spins the opposite way, she's known as an outcast planet because of that reason. And I'm saying she because usually we think, oh, feminine planet, which by technicality it is in a way. And actually, Venus, of all the planets, believe it or not, is the only planet that has the sole objective for bringing you happiness. I'll say that again. Of all the planets, Venus is the only one that has the objective of bringing you blissfulness and happiness. However you need it, her objective is to get you to that state of blissfulness. But now, what's blissful to someone may not be blissful to someone else. Some people think that blissfulness is just sitting in silence. That's one of mine. Silence is golden. It's more valuable than gold itself. And then there's some people that like being, and they find blissfulness in, loud bang bang noises everywhere. It is what it is. There's some people that just like to wear basic stuff, and there's people that like to wear expensive stuff. Some people like to spend a lot of money on something to cover their torso, and some people are content with just something, if it covers, it works, gets the job done, I'm good with it. It all comes down to the individual and what they see what enjoyment is. And that's what's very opinionated about it. But that's another thing too. Of all the planets, Venus is the most accepting and the most willing to pretty much understand other, or like whomever is coming towards Venus. She's the only one that's willing to try and understand and to try and get this desire that they're trying to obtain to them. And the thing is, whenever you go towards Venus and ask something of her, you have to be specific. She likes details. When you don't give details, that's when she gets a bit confused and a little bit cautious. Because the last thing she wants to do is not give you what you want, and then you get disappointed. Because she's going to be feeling, oh, I thought you wanted that, but you didn't want it that way? And now she's going to be upset. Because she's now feeling that she didn't do what she was supposed to do, which is bring you that blissfulness. So be specific. And then there's also the conflicting thought of like, well, if you make it too specific, you're making it, be a lot harder to go with the path of least resistance. That Loa stuff. Nope. With Venus, no. If you're not specific, she is very careful because she doesn't know what to do. So she is very unsure of how to get you your wish. So say if you wanted to be a millionaire and you wanted to have this estate with a mansion with this many rooms, this many staff members to serve you, and butlers and Stetsons and maids and all that stuff. Okay, woo. You want these kind of cars? Okay. The lavish life. You laid it all out, but you forgot one detail. So when do you want it? Okay, well, you said exactly what you wanted, all the details, but you forgot when. So Venus will go, oh, sure. Wait, where is it? Oh, you didn't tell me. So you never know when that's going to come. But you'll get it. It's just you never know when. That's the point. You have to be specific. You got to think. Details. Besides, Venus excels in creativity. When you give details, you allow your creativity to flow. Also, you help Venus understand, okay, exactly this. So it doesn't, critically fail. Because you don't want it to critically fail. That actually smells like like one of those chocolate bars, the ones that have kind of like the strange flavors, like the red hot chili pepper chocolate and the sea salt chocolate. Yeah, this is what that kind of smells like. Not the chili pepper or sea salt, but it just smells like one of those exotic chocolate scents or whatever. Oh, leg. But anyway, let's see here. Some little mind-boggling secrets about the lovely Venus. And if you watched some of the streams before, you already know this one, but I like reiterating it because it is the biggest mind-boggling thing about her. I thought my diffuser wasn't going to be blowing stuff. Venus is a planet and the only one that can make the dead get up and walk and become alive again. Venus can tell the dead, up you go, wakey, wakey. Oh, I'm alive again. She's the only planet that can do that. She also has dominion over legacy and being remembered. When you remember somebody who's passed away, they become alive again. In your head. They're living, just not in front of you. They're alive in your head. And that's also why Venus can also be said to be associated with necromancy. Because you're working with the dead. If anything involves the dead, if you do anything towards the dead, visit a cemetery. Think of a passed away family member. Remember your heritage. Even just looking at your family history or your countries of origins history. That's necromancy. But you're not raising the dead. You're not making the dead do anything, though. You're remembering the past. When you remember the past, you're bringing it back to life in your head. You're making something that's dead become alive again as if it's living, but just in your thoughts in your head. When you recall something, when you study history, that's necromancy. Even though it's not like the stereotypical, like, raising the dead like a zombie. No. Mm-mm. That's Hollywood woozy wooey. So yes, Venus can be associated with necromancy. Because when you remember or you're going towards a place of people that are passed away and they're in the burial ground, they're being laid to rest in a comforting, restful place where they're eternally asleep until they get remembered and they become alive again in memory. See. And I'm not intentionally neglecting the chat. It's just when I don't have the chat in front of me, I don't get like squirrel. Hi there. Yeah, I don't get sidetracked and I go off on a tangent. Let's see. But like I said, Venus is the one and only planet that actually has the highest concern for you to be happy and blissful. The only one. Sun? Surya wants you to come to this plane to pretty much experience and endure suffering of wherever the sun's placed in your astrological chart. He grabs a hold of you, puts you on this plane to suffer and burn the karma off. Let's see, Mercury. Mercury's kind of like a playboy, and well, Mercury can either be overly flirty and immature, or he'll nitpick the living heck out of you, and he'll find every little flaw about you and just micromanage and just make you just go mad. Let's see, Moon. Depending, waxing, waning, full, no moon. But with Moon, can actually be, if it's like new moon, can actually be very unpredictable and actually able to use some of the darker parts of life to her advantage. When she's waxing, getting bigger, like, more of a full moon, she's more sattvic, or more of the higher states of awareness, the more deva state. When she's a full moon, she's at her pretty much her fullest sattva state. But being born exactly at 100% full moon, good luck with that. Very slim chance. But when she's waning, when she's going from full to, that's when she goes from sattva to tamasic and rajasic, meaning she becomes very lustful. Like, I want that. Give me that. Yeah. By lustful, not just only because of mating season, no. Because Moon sees something, longs for it, and takes action to get it. Even if Moon has to woozy woo to get it, it'll be done. In fact, that's how Mercury came about. It happened. Oh well. Let's see. Mars. I don't think he really cares about anybody's happiness. He just wants to break stuff. And he's a little bit hot-headed. Jupiter. Even though he's the greatest benefit, he'll make you suffer just to get to divinity. He'll make you clean toilets. He'll make you pretty much sweep the floor, take out the, animal manure, just to get to divinity, which does have its good parts, but at the same time, in my opinion, is not the most. You can get easily distracted with desires that you haven't fulfilled in this life if you go Jupiter's way. But if you go Venus's way, you experience all the desires you want. You only have one desire left to get off the plane and experience something higher. You ask Venus for it, she'll take you to it. And you won't get sidetracked. Saturn. Well, the best part of I don't care if you're happy. Well, if you weren't stupid, I wouldn't hit you. True story. Saturn really doesn't care if he makes anybody happy, sad or Well, do you get whacked? Yes or no? No? Move! Whack! That's just how he operates. Simple. Uranus. I don't even want to even make an attempt with that one. Neptune. Kind of might roof you. And woozy woo you. Pluto, the little shithead. No. Might actually make a big hot mess of things. Rahu. Pac-Man. I won't stop nomming on everything. K2. Headless body that is kind of meh with everything. Detached. He can't really understand what happiness is. So that one critically fails too. Black Moon Lilith. It has nothing to do with empowerment. Meh. Don't care. Nope. If I'm not getting my empowerment, well, okay, I don't get empowerment. Okay, nobody gets whatever they want either. Turnabout's fair play. That's just how Black Moon Lilith operates. Very unpredictable. So pretty much Venus is the only planet that does, have the concern of happiness for every person, human being, or Ashura, or demon. Ashuras are known as demons. They're also known as people. Dum dum dum. Mind blown. I know. It happens. So let's scooch on over to now, let's say, when reading Venus in an astrology chart, let's go that route. Let's see. Venus owns the signs of Taurus and Libra. Some people say that she is earthy and windy because Taurus, earth, Libra, air. She's actually very wet. Very water. Well, because Venus, love, emotion, that's kind of a little bit wet. Devotion is wet. Not like that, you nasty, vulgar. Not that kind of wet. Not that kind. This is not. I know it's probably prime time, but this is not the prime time you're thinking about. Not the time for that. But anyway, devotion is the sign of Scorpio. That's devotion. Scorpio devotion? Venus was actually born from the sign of Scorpio. How is that possible? When Shukracharya, or Venus, was actually using the Gayatri mantra, which is the mantra to make the dead come back to life, and when the Asuras were fighting the Devas, and every time an Asura fell, Venus brought it back to life, the Devas were like, crap, great. What are we going to do? We're going to be losing to these Asuras. And that Shukracharya keeps bringing them back from the dead like nothing. Oh, you're dead? Get up. Gosh, we got to do something. Shiva, do something, please. What do you want me to do? Do you mind trying to meditate here? That Guru Shukracharya is going to make us lose this war. If I do something, will you let me meditate afterwards? Please help us. Fine. So, Shiva took the form of Kritika and got Shukracharya and went, swallowed him. Just. And this is where it gets a little bit mind scratching, just as almost as as Norse mythology. I mean, come on, Loki, you turn into a pony and somehow you brought into this world how many-legged horse? Go figure. But anyway, after consuming Shukracharya, Lord Shiva goes from Kritika back to his natural state in the meditative state. few centuries later. Parvati and Shiva. Like that. Doing that, yeah. But the thing is, when that happened, you know, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Here's the thing. Scorpio is the sign of, yeah, you get the idea. When that happened, Shivacharya came out of Shiva because, consumed him. But when Shivacharya was within Shiva, he was stuck in a state of eternal stillness. Don't vibrate the floor, please. Don't shake the floor. That was kind of rude. Yeah, I felt that. I felt that on my foot. Can you not do that, please? Not really, like something on the floor just decided to be like, oh, I'm gonna shake you. I'm not in the mood, to do any hula dancing. Please don't do that again. Please don't. Thank you. They're already trying to, mess with me. But when Shivacharya was consumed by Kritika, or Shiva, he was stuck in an eternal stasis of pretty much being frozen in time. That's why Venus also can represent immortality. And the whole thing of like, when you remember the dead, they come back to life. But the minute somebody is forgotten, like during the holiday of Day of the Dead, or I know exactly what holiday it is. It's just I can't pronounce it. That a holiday. But with the third death, after the third death hits, gone forever. But when you remember, you save them. And that's also why having just a way to remember someone, you can actually make them become immortal for that. But anyway. So when Venus, emerged from Lord Shiva's, yeah, you get the idea. That was Scorpio. And Venus's birth home, Scorpio. Because also that's where all the gems are at. The hidden gems. Because Venus also does represent the baby making cells, egg and fishy thing. In some schools of astrology, it can represent the father. But then what about Surya? The big ball of flame. No. See, Venus actually also owns and is also at the heart of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Bernie, Purva Falguni, yeah, try saying that 5 times fast. Purva Falguni, see? And Purva Shata, the heart of all the fire signs. And ironically, Bernie, which is actually also a nakshatra that does also indicate miscarriages, pregnancy challenges, also abortions. Same thing with Dineshta. So it's nature. Stupid rogue men thinking, oh, we're going to say that this can't happen. Want to fight Mother Nature? Because we already know what's going to happen when you fight nature. Yeah, nature's going to win. Like that. This is supposed to be my violin, I don't have a violin, and I don't have any strings to, pluck, so I'm not plucking no G string. Don't even think about it. Anyway. Venus, whenever it's placed in, let's see, Venus does well in the signs, obviously Taurus, because she owns it. Taurus, Gemini, of course Libra, that's Motricona, meaning that she owns is most comfortable. Scorpio, believe it or not, some people think Scorpio Venus. Oh God, must be an obsessive one. Mm-mm. If she's an Anuradha, you have a devoted, committed lover. And good luck, having them let go of you. They're not gonna ever leave your side. And I have that Venus. See. Capricorn is another one. Aquarius is another one. But probably the best of all, but also it's a double-edged sword. Venus in Pisces is her exaltation point. Her pissed off area is Virgo. Oh, I get it, because Virgo is the Virgin, and Venus, it doesn't work. No. Virgo is the sign that is hypercritical. It wants to find faults and fix the faults. It wants to make things perfected. Now you're putting Venus, a planet that sees beauty in everything. It says everything is already perfect the way it is for being itself. Now you're telling her, okay, Venus, be critical. Nitpick. How am I going to nitpick art? Art's art. Somebody made it. It's already perfect. Find fault in it. But I can't, because I see beauty when there is none. Woman? Okay. But seriously, that's Venus and Virgo. When Venus is there, it has potential to be a challenge, except if it's in the early stages of Virgo, it tends to pretty much lift itself out, because the beginning of Virgo is still part of Uttara Falguni, which is all about contracts, commitments, and the fine line and the fine print. So marriages are fine print. You're putting Venus there. Okay. Is this really what you want? Yes? Okay. Sealed. Next. So she's okay with it, despite, kind of being a little bit agitated, like, oh, great. I have to nitpick. I have to look at everything with a fine tune. But it's already perfect. Look for fault. Ugh. But now when you put Venus in Pisces, you're now having the planet of also devotion, artistry, and, the deepest committed unconditional love possible, but is also the one that brings life to the dead. You're putting her in a state of being intoxicated, because that's Pisces, being able to take in perspective and see in a different perspective, and being in a state of flow. One perspective, then another, then another, then another. It has immense depth, because Pisces, the ocean, and the amounts of depth to that, good luck. It's pretty dark down there. Or even also the star ocean, which is up there. I know, cheesy, but go with it. So, unconditional devotion gets thrown into a giant ocean and has immense depth. Meaning good luck trying to really go to the depths of that devotion, because I don't even know if it's ever going to end, because, that's pretty really down there in the deep ocean. But also, believe it or not, Venus is also the planet that has dominion over being intoxicated. Intoxicated? So you mean when somebody's drunk, they're, they're overly influenced by Venus? Because the highest form of intoxication is being intoxicated by divinity. And usually when that happens, you actually see people actually just start having tears come out of their eyes. And they're not even aware of it. That's the highest devotion you can get to. It's so intense that the water just flows. And Venus actually has dominion over tears. Because she's wet. Remember, she's a water element, not a rock solid one or one that's blowing it. She's emotion and water first. And if you want to be technical, she can even say wet and windy. No. Let's see. But when it comes to intoxication by taking a substance, including That was different. Including in taking a pharmaceutical creation by man. That's Rahu. A cigarette. That's Rahu. A pint. Man-made, intoxicant, and legal. Rahu. The minute ago, Rahu. Because Rahu has dominion over smoke and mirrors and blinding you with brain fog. Like, I don't know what's real. Oh boy. There might be a ghost in here. That's Rahu. Fear altogether, but practical fear. That's Saturn. Like, oh, I think the law's coming after me. That's Saturn fear. Rahu fears like, I got a feeling that I'm being watched by something that doesn't have a physical body. I think it's right behind me. That's Rahu. But when you get intoxicated by means that's not of the highest devotion, that's Rahu. You're going to being intoxicated, you're going towards Venus by the means of Rahu. You still get into it, but Rahu is getting involved. And that's when intoxication can be unpredictable. And somebody tends to act in a certain way because the mind and the individual, but then again, it depends on the individual and their genetic makeup and whatnot. Because everything that somebody intakes, it may be okay for somebody, but if somebody else takes it, it can make them go, it's just what it is. So, when somebody intakes something, how they were before, okay, natural, they intake something, Rahu. Then the feeling afterwards, Venus, you're intoxicated. But when you smoke either, like say for example, if you smoke cannabis, that it's still Rahu. Rahu, smoke, inhale, you're intoxicated. Venus. That's Venus. Because you're just chill. You're in a perspective that's it's a type of blissfulness. But it's not the pure intoxication. Pure intoxication is only through divinity. Just by that. And even if somebody says, but if you smoke Blue Lotus, that's still Rahu. Smoke. That's Rahu. If you intake any kind of smoke or substance, Rahu's like, gotcha. Oh, great. I can't see because Rahu's blinding me like this. Crap. That's Rahu. Let's see. Of course, everybody knows this simple one. Venus has dominion over the day Friday. Yep, woohoo. Planetary colors. Well, according to Vedic astrology, Venus has dominion over the color white, alongside moon. But if you want to be technical, yes. Gentle colors, like rose, pinks, peach pink, soft, gentle colors, like a milky pink. That's a Venusian color. Some people also say green too, but that's more Buddha Mercury. The heart chakra's green. Okay, fine. Technically, yes, but still white. And I'm just going based on what the Vedic system says. Which is completely different from like the Western stereotypical like Venus. Okay, we got pink, greens, beautiful colors, vibrant colors, lavish colors. Okay. On the most simplistic level. Let's see here. Venus has dominion over the stone, diamond. Go figure. But the thing is, if you have a diamond ring, which finger do you stick it on? That sounds so bad. But go with it. Some people say, well, you stick it in the ring finger. This is the ring finger, not the middle one. You can't miss the middle one for me because, it has rings on it. But some people say, put it on the ring finger because that's where it's supposed to go. That's Surya, the sun. The sun has dominion over the ring finger. But we put the diamond then. The pinky. You mean this little thing? Mm-hmm. Venus actually has dominion over the pinky finger and is sharing it also with Moon and Mercury. That's why whenever you do a murderer, depending on which part of the pinky you hit, you have to actually make it known which one of those three that you're calling out to and actually connecting to. So if you just go like that, without even saying whomever you're trying to connect to, you get confused because you're thinking, okay, did you happen to hear which one of us he said? I don't know. What are you, Mercury? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What? Did you happen to hear which one of us he was trying to call out to? Nope, didn't hear a thing. Yeah, so make sure if you're going to be trying to go towards Moon, Mercury, or Venus, and using murderers like that, make sure you make it known which planet you're trying to connect to. That's why you can be like Venus, Shukracharya, and then just hold it. Don't do this. Because the moment you do this, you have Mars, Mongol, the thumb. This is the thumb, action. This is Jupiter. Well, we all know with this one. Saturn, Shunny. Nope, not doing it. Mm-mm. Oh, piss it. Nope. Oh, yeah, double it. Mm. Then Surya, the sun, the ring finger, which is essentially the one that's connected to. Yeah. And then the pinky finger, which I've already established. When you have the thumb make contact with a certain finger, like this, you're actually taking action, the physical body, and bringing the planetary influence with the physical body. You bring them together. That's why when you do this, you're bringing in more Saturnian qualities and energy. When you do it like this, you're telling the old hipster, you're blocked. What? Oh, you think you're going to block me? No. You still have some wax, kid. But when the time where it's optimal to block them is that if you're not really giving yourself credit, like if you're being too humble and you're being walked all over, you just have Saturn, be like, Shani, I need to have some recognition too. Fine, make it quick. Because Saturn's a planet that's very humble. And another side note, whenever you do like murders like that, please don't block Guru. Don't block Guru like that. Because when you do this, you're pretty much telling Guru, shh, Guru. And that's all what Guru's going to do, just shake his head. And whenever you see Guru do this, you done made a big mistake. Because even though he's not saying anything, it essentially translates to, my child, how the heck are you still alive with that amount of stupidity in your head? How are you still alive? That's it, saying it on a silent way. So don't block Guru, and also don't block Shukra or Venus. Don't block her. Because it's like, oh, happiness? You're blocking happiness? Sucks to be you, boy. Because why do you want to block happiness? Bring it down together. But make sure, again, you call out to. And if you want to, we can even block the sun. Block the flamer. Check me out. No. Yeah, sometimes you have to block the ego sometimes. But when you bring the physical body and the ego together, yeah. I don't like how that feels. Because for me, this makes my ring fingers feel a little bit too hot. But then again, when you have done this so many times, you can actually somewhat feel the shift. But you have to do it like consistently to kind of feel the somewhat of the shift, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can put it. If it don't make sense, I guess listen again. Okay, I'm gonna take a short break, and I'm gonna go grab a drink. When I get back, I'll take a look at the chat, and I know I probably neglected everybody, but I'll be back in a second. Oh, I'm getting old. And yes, if you're asking, yes, I'm a Saturn ruled individual. And yes, patient, just realistic. Just what? Like, just like, fair. Okay, I've returned. And 50,000 years later, finally, he's going to be looking at the chat. Oh. Scooch it over there, plop that like that. Okay, there we go. Howdy up again. Oh boy, I can just see all the chat messages now. There should be like 50,000 of them fail. What the heck, man? Click. What? There. Okay, there we go. Howdy up again. Okay, let's see here. Okay, now 50 years later, now looking at the chat. Kali Mom? Goddess Kali? Yep, she's actually connected to Saturn. As well as, I mean, technically you could also even say Black Moon Lilith for Kali. Somewhat. But then again, that's like, really like, oops. Major whoopsie whoops for that one. But also, you could also say Kali is also connected to Ketu. Because when Kali went into her, just completely everything. That's Ketu. Just being like, just completely annihilating everything. And yes, that holiday killed. Hello, Food Bro. Well, Aphrodite did, sometimes intentional and not intentionally. Sometimes she did was like, oh, look, why don't you guys fight for me? I like it when you guys fight for me. Sometimes that happens. Venus in 10 Pisces of the 10th degree. The double-edged sword, yeah, because the signification of that Pisces Venus, the symbol is actually either a man with two faces, which is actually being able to see one perspective than another, and being able to understand the depths of both sides. And also another symbol is the double-edged blade. I don't want to choke myself. Not the kind of live stream to be doing that. Nothing. Besides, the thing is, a lot of people don't also seem to understand this. Advice is advice. It is what it is. It doesn't show somebody's character. If somebody has enjoyment with something, even if it's an intoxicant or a vice, as long as, it's not making them be like, okay, I hate you all, and go, breaking and smacking people. If they're enjoying themselves, and they're not putting themselves in danger, and if they're not causing harm to somebody else, what's the issue with the vice? Well, it's not legal. The thing with man's law, it's flawed. And having somebody else's opinion saying, oh, that's not good, you shouldn't do that, that's illegal, that's bad. Sometimes, sometimes some things don't need to be told to somebody else that, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, that's bad. Well, the thing is, worry about your own life instead. You worry about what's good for you and what's bad for you instead of going up to somebody who you don't even know and be like, you shouldn't be putting that cigarette in your mouth. You shouldn't be sucking on that fag, because they're going to give you that lovely thing called cancer in your lungs. Don't suck the fag. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to regret it. Some people do like sucking fags. Not the kind like I am. Not that kind. I mean, there are some that do that too, but still. Some people do. It is what it is. You can't tell another person that you can't do that. Mm-mm. Then there's the argument of, where's your shin? Joke's on you, sins an opinion. Mm-hmm. What the? Some granola bar. I just hope this thing just disintegrates. Oh well. Mm-hmm. What is it? Venus Scene Healing? What is it? Let me have it. Scorpio Venus in retrograde. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. For having something like that kind of situation to come up, well, you need to have I'm having all the combinations just go through my head real quick. Part with that, you're probably gonna have to have something like either something along the lines of, say, connection to the eighth house with a planet such as Rahu in the eighth house, as an example, in the sign of. I'm playing them all through my head, so hold your pigeons. Eighth house in the nakshatra of Arada, which is Gemini. And if it getting like an aspect of, say, like Mars, yeah, that's like overkill. And Scorpio Venus, well, again, depends on the nakshatra point. Say, for an example, like if you have Venus in Anuradha, like I do, essentially Anuradha is the nakshatra that is related to Radha and Krishna, but mainly Radha because it's actually named after her. Radha! If you want to know the most devoted one to Lord Krishna, Radha beats everybody, literally. Nobody can outdevote Radha towards Krishna. Don't even try. So, when you're putting Venus, like true devotion, in the nakshatra, actually owned by your best friend Saturn, also. You actually get an unconditional love that literally you can put it through the absolute worst that the world can, throw at them. If they're with somebody, yeah, good luck. You're not going to move them. And I can attest to that. Believe me, I can attest to it. It's like I hold this thing now, it's starting to disintegrate. Nope. Worst granola bar ever. Alright, back to the magical thingies about Venus again. Sorry, I don't like to masticate and talk at the same time. Masticate, it means chew. Not the other word. This is not that kind of live stream. Don't fit everything. You're going to get lucky like that. Mm-mm. But anyway. like I've said before, Venus, like Jupiter, is a guru. Venus holds that title. But in comparison, when it comes to being a guru figure, Venus completely decimates Jupiter. Did you just say that atrocity that Venus is a better guru than Jupiter? Venus can raise the dead. But he can't. Can't do that. Can't do that. Venus doesn't judge anybody. Somebody wants to learn something and goes to Venus. Venus tries everything possible to help them learn it. And it takes years. She'll stick with them. Jupiter, instead, will be all. Just for comical sake. Where'd it go? Oh, right in front of my face. Wakey, wakey. Then there's Jupiter. So let me see. Well, it says here in your birth chart that your Jupiter and Mercury have no direction. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to say you're quite stupid. So I'm not even going to waste my time. Away with you. Venus doesn't do that. Nope. Jupiter makes you suffer for divinity. Venus, if that's what you want, she'll take you to it. Venus actually, believe it or not, doesn't say no. However, if a desire does involve intentionally harming an individual for no realistic reason, just for, I guess, sadistic reason, Venus is not going to comply with that. Because from that perspective, for Venus, it's going to be somewhat to the effect of, so you're going to be blissful watching, you're going to be blissful being aware of somebody suffering? How's that going to make you blissful? Besides, I'm supposed to make everybody blissful, not just you, hon. Even though Venus does grant wishes like that, that's one of the exceptions where it's not really going to go as planned. Here's another thing too. Oh. Venus also holds the title of potentially being somebody's Yogacaraka planet or lucky planet. There is only 3 planets that can have that title. Only 3. Venus is one. The old hipster, Saturn, is another one. And Mars. No other planet can be a Yogacaraka except those 3. Regardless of whatever subject you want to learn, Venus essentially can pretty much teach you literally anything of the world. And beyond the world, too. Even Jupiter, at times, doesn't really seem to understand. What are these earthly desires? I want nothing to do with it. Venus, meanwhile, I want you to enjoy here while you're here. Enjoy every second of it. Oh, you already enjoyed everything? Okay. Oh, you want to go to the exit? All right, let's go. Even though Venus doesn't want you to leave. Venus wants you to enjoy every second that you're on this planet. But if you ask to be taken to the exit and to experience divinity and its vastness, she'll take you to it. And even though that's going completely against what she wants, she'll do it. Because again, what's the core focus for Venus? Giving you blissfulness, regardless of whatever it is, making sure you get it. That's priority number one. Also, Venus has dominion over spouse figure or significant other, regardless of what gender it is. But what if it's, like one of those? I don't even know if that's the thing. Like how there's some that have like identify as something else. Either way, Venus still has dominion over other. By other meaning that other person, life partner, regardless of whatever sources of identification. Venus has dominion over other person. It is what it is. And please don't have somebody come in saying, "Well, I'm not a person. I identify as an alien." Please don't, because that's not really going to bode well. Because it's just don't. But Venus, also funny enough, here's a little bit of a well-kept secret about Venus. Whenever, and I'm meaning whenever this happens, by your own doing, especially for men, the minute you insult, degrade, slander, or intentionally cause harm to a woman, your Venus takes a hit. When Venus takes too many hits, oh, no happiness for you, dude. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, and I believe that there's what's that twithead's name? I'm trying to remember what this guy's name is. But like he was saying something like, "Oh well, women just need to be trained." Trained? What do you mean by trained? Like how train how to put duct tape over your mouth and keep it on your mouth? No, dude. Besides, that's the most simplest way to be forever alone. Stupid twithead. And I think there was also something that he said to the effect of, "Whenever they get emotional, I don't even talk to them. I give them no attention." Well, that just shows, wow, we don't know how to listen. That's something you learn in kindergarten, Cupcake. Wow. And I thought, the first man Adam was pathetic. Wow. You're getting pretty close there, dude. Just close. Don't whiff it. It's kind of like, time to, have jackass check. Oh, critical fail. Here's your jackass stamp of fail on your head. Forever alone. Oh, and another thing too. Like with the current events of how something got overturned, I would say it, but I don't want you to be like, "Oh, that's sensitive. No money for you." God forbid. The ones who pushed for it to be overturned, like really plotted for it. The ones that really pushed, they're Venuses. Got a hard smack. Ooh. I mean, look at all the women and everybody that was protesting against it. That's Venus coming right around being like, "Oh, heck no, hun." They left a big whoops on each of their Venus placements. That's not good. In fact, Venus is probably one of the last planets you want to hit or cause harm to or give hits to. Because if you keep hitting the planet that's trying to make you happy, she's going to be like, "You know what? I'm out. I quit." Nope. You can just suffer alone. I'll make somebody else happy. You don't want to make the planet that wants the best for you and make you be all convenient and comfortable. You don't want her mad. Because, well, go try to find some happiness elsewhere. Don't go towards the sun because you'll, get burnt alive. Don't even try to go towards Saturn because he'll just whack you with his beating stick every 2 seconds. In all seriousness. And it's actually also true. You can actually notice, based on like if you notice how a man is treating a woman and it's pretty bad, you can easily see, wow, your Venus must be completely destroyed and being, tortured and decimated. If it was not because of that by placement, look at the D30 chart. The chart of afflictions, illnesses, and challenges, but also depending on if it's a man's chart or a woman's chart, depending on which one it is, man's chart, you can see how the D30 points out this is how he treats women with the D30. But for a woman, you can actually see her character with it. Fun fact. Now you're probably thinking, well, if I have my Venus get hit too much, what can I do to, say I'm sorry to her? It's actually very simple. It's like so simple that it's just like mind-boggling. If you have a spouse figure or wife figure, and if she's talking to you, stick it and listen. Listen. Even if you're like, oh, I don't want to listen to her, stick it, listen. And actually be engaged with your listening. But she just keeps complaining. I didn't stutter. Listen. And don't interrupt. And don't walk away. Because that's another way that you're hitting Venus. Don't do it. I mean, this is not rocket science, but for me, it's kind of like for me, it's like common sense. That's the best way I can put it. Put it in the most simplistic way. Because most of the time, sometimes all that woman wants is just to have the knowing that when she's speaking, she has someone there to listen and just hold space. And knowing that she has security somewhere. Just by listening. It's so simple. But what do they say when she's done speaking? Simple. Is there anything that I can do to bring more security to you, or is there anything you'd like me to do for you regarding that? If she says no, I just want you to listen. Okay, that's it. Simple. But if she asks something of you, try your best to at least attempt to get that for her. Attempt. Or try your best, or just communicate it. I mean, I'm not, what's his name? I'm not Mike Myers from The Love Guru. I may not be the real love guru or anything, but I think that's kind of like common sense, don't you think? That was like the worst impersonation of him, but you get the idea. But still, for me, in my opinion, it's so simple to do. And another thing too. This also does include for couples that also are like male, male, female, female. Venus does have the dominion over connections and love and unionship. She's the one that has the full dominion over it. So, Venus being spouse figure. If you do domestic violence against your significant other. Your Venus takes a hit. And again, don't hit Venus. That should be like the last one you want to whack next to Saturn. Don't hit Saturn. Because, boy, you don't want to even know what he'll do. Oh, that's it. Oh, boy, you hit like a bitch. Ah. Yeah. Do not attempt. Trust me. And there are also things like divorce really is not really any kind of harmful thing towards Venus at all. I mean, it's something that kind of goes against her agenda, but it's not going to cause, harm to you if it has to be done. Let's see. Any other little thing too? Oh yeah, Venus retrograde. Some people think, oh, Venus is retrograde. Oh God, great, here come the X's again. Or oh great, somebody's going to be able to overkill woozy-woo again. Somebody's going to be obsessive. That's only the stereotypical bad part of it. Usually, when a planet's retrograde, the Earth is very close to that planet. So it's like closer. So the effects hit harder. That's why, like with Mercury, it goes and gets drunk the most. But when a planet's closer to Earth, the effects of it get a little bit too much. It's not bad or good, it's just what it is. So when Venus gets drunk, funny, yeah, having dominion over intoxication, she gets drunk. Oh, natural, no. Venus retrograde, sometimes you can see somebody actually might be in a situation where something can be either life or death, and Venus is about to go retrograde in transit, but they're born with a Venus retrograde. You can actually see once Venus goes retrograde, the challenge or the affliction that they're afflicted with that could be life-threatening, just gone. And I've seen this happen. Because there's someone who actually had their youngest son actually had to go in to get heart surgery at only I believe only about a year and a half old, around there. Heart surgery. After the operation, blood pressure, and there was something just not right. And this was right before Venus stopped, went stationary, and went backwards. And he was actually born with the Venus retrograde. Before Venus stopped, that was when the doctors were noticing, great. Now there's something else wrong, but we can't figure it out. Oh, great. So, of course, everybody's all worried. And for some reason, my grandmother asked me to, ask them for, his birth info. And I did. Looked at it. Just looked at it. Oh, okay. Born with the Venus retrograde. Venus is going to go retrograde. Okay, over the ascendant and over the Lugna, and actually, funny enough, over his retrograde Venus somewhat. Okay, in a few days, it should be completely gone. And just completely, just without a trace. He'll be perfectly fine. What? How do you know that? Just go with it. For a few days later, doctors come back. Well, whatever it was is just gone. And yeah. I was then told, Wow, how did you know that was going to happen? Don't look at me. That's just what happens. That's just how everything works when the placement like that happens. It is what it is. Don't, I don't write this stuff. That's just what happens. True story. But anyway. But also Venus retrograde in somebody's birth chart. You can actually also see they may be very hesitant to actually, or they can either be extremely hesitant to give out love, or they can just overkill it, meaning that they could be like attached, like overly obsessive girlfriend. Like, I need to know exactly what you're doing every 2 seconds. You getting up? Where are you going? To the bathroom? I hope so. I'll be right outside the door with my ear to the door, making sure you're in there. Yeah, that kind of attach. To the extreme though, but then again, depends. If Venus is retrograde in Pisces, that's not a good spot. But she's exalted. Yeah, but she's overkilling by going backwards. The planet gets more powerful, closer to the Earth. An overkilling of exaltation of Pisces. Venus getting overkilled, intoxicated, and close to Earth. That's too much. But now when you have Venus in Virgo, completely agitated and pissed off, but drunk. In fact, she actually goes, you know what? Maybe I could figure out a way to make some kind of art with perfectionism. I'll give it a shot. Sometimes that's how it happens, man. You gotta look at the whole chart. You gotta look at every little thing. Also the D9, Navamsha chart, as well as if you want to actually judge the Sastyamsha, the D60 chart. But that one changes every 2.5 seconds, so good luck with that one. Like, every 2.5 seconds, the chart completely changes, like all over the place. It's that sensitive. That chart's either the final say, or it's mainly used for birth time ratification. Have I done it? No. Because doing birth ratification with the D60 takes a long time, but it can be done. Am I proficient at that? No. Okay, I'm going to look at the chat now. I've neglected it too much again. Here to go. Come on, Cupcake. Let me have it. Here we go. Do-do-do. Huh. It is in the 12th house. Jupiter in second. Well, Venus, depending on what elements is in, let's see. Venus in Aries in the 9th house. What degree is it at again? Venus, Aries, apart. Because that might change everything. I'll deal with more emotional men. Well, hey, sometimes, sometimes it can be a plus. Like, oh, okay. At least he does have some feels in him. So he's not completely like, what's wrong? And I'll fix it. Tell me what's wrong and I'll fix it. You don't need to fix anything. Just listen. Why? What is that going to do? It's not going to fix the problem. A stupid man thing. How do you do, Annie? Six degrees Aries has Venus and Ashwini. The pony, the horses, or the. Don't. Been through this 50,000 times, but I guess the message just doesn't stick. But anyway, 6 degrees Aries. That's Venus in Ashwini. Yeah, sometimes they're screaming for some reason. But anyway. Venus in Ashwini. So essentially, pretty much whenever somebody's in a state of needing to be like rescued and being brought out of a down state, it can either be going in face first, like oh somebody needs help, like literally going 0 to 140 miles per hour in a snap to get them out of hot water. And also may potentially also see by any chance, did you happen to ever date somebody that was involved in the military or armed forces in some way? Okay. Because usually sometimes Ashwini is related to the military sometimes. Are they also sometimes kind of a bit arrogant? And pretty much in a way that's like, I'm just going to act first and I'll think later. Like, okay, you just jumped off a cliff into a thing of spikes, but you didn't, stop and look down, did you? Nope. Trains hunting dogs. Do the and do these hunting dogs essentially when they hunt and when they essentially do they happen to hunt like mainly bird? Like if say shooting down geese or something like that? They go and they retrieve and they run back with it as an example. Because that's also oh okay ducks. So yeah, that would by technicality that would be Ashwini because you have essentially the dog trainer who is Jupiter, pretty much the general. Aim. Then there's the quacker. Whack. Then the dog goes and gets him, and the dog is like the what's that called? The front line to go in and get the spoils and bring it back. Or you can, well, in a way, you could even also say that they're like the charging army because they're going to go in and grab what's needed to get out. But by technicality, dogs are usually seen through K2, the south node, and felines and cats are seen by Rahu, which makes perfect sense because Rahu and cats just like, I don't want this here, so I don't like that there. I'm just gonna knock it over. What human? Oh, you didn't like that? Watch it again. Oops. Want an instant replay? Oops. And that's sometimes what Rahu is. Sometimes he goes against the norms of society and does what he wants. And he would sometimes has to, throw things off a cliff and get noticed because he likes being noticed. But sometimes when he gets too much attention, he's like, get away. But sometimes he can never get enough because he's just definitely not Pac-Man. Just a floating head without a body. Any knobs and everything. Venus conjunct K2. Where's your K2 at? Besides Venus conjunct K2, that has potential to have a past life connection in some regard. depending on what sign it is. Do you happen to know what degree? Like, what degree is... So yeah, that actually is an indication of a past, like a really past life connection. 7 degrees of Leo. Stop it. That's the nakshatra of Maga, or essentially the nakshatra that is symbolized by a big, fancy chair, like an executive chair. But don't think this is like, okay, the throne is actually the chair that you're sitting on because the ancestors of the Pitris, all their hard work gave you the chair that you're sitting on. That's Maga. And it's also having rulership by Ketu. Ketu has dominion over that nakshatra point. So pretty much kind of going somewhat to the ideas of this. Heavy past life connection, and in fact, I sound a little bit freaky deaky, but potentially you actually might have this connection, and it actually might be an ancestor of your past life that's not coming in. Like you could be someone like a grand figure, great grand figure, or even an older generation coming back around to be a significant other, potentially. Because again, Maga is connected to the ancestors, the Pitris. I don't make this stuff up. I don't write the stuff. It is what it is. His moon conjuncts 7th with Rahu. Aquarius. Moon conjunct in the 7th house of the Aquarius with Rahu. What's the degrees? The 7th degree? Okay. That would be sounds. Yeah, I believe. Hold on. Let me just take a double check. Let me double check my thing real quick because I don't want to whiff it and make a whoopsie whoops. Open sesame. Dang it. Okay, here to go. Come on, Cupcake. Open. No, hon, I just need one of you. Thank you. Okay, here we go. What the? Milkshake. That's the wrong one. You had one job. Here we go. Where? Excuse me. Okay, that would be in Satpashaka, which is funny because that's oh, this is awkward. Well, that's nice to know. Your Rahu is like literally point blank conjunct my ascendant in Western. Like point blank. Right on my face. On my ascendant degree and my moon. Oh, it happens. Yeah, and 6 degrees away from my Saturn, my drunk Saturn. But what else is new? But anyway, so Having Rahu in Setpashaka, he owns it, by the way, and having Moon there. By any potentially chance. This is going to sound a little bit freaky deaky, but here, hold my wine glass. Whenever there's something that is done that is not upheld, like say if he says, oh, I'm going to do this, but he doesn't do it, it drives you absolutely mad. And you listen, you said you were going to do this, you never did, and stop doing that. Something to that effect. Or sometimes it is what it is. There may be potential over-concern about, at times, over-concern about his emotional needs and making sure that there's some kind of level of safety and security around him, at least from your perspective. Why my computer freeze? Computer, don't do it. Okay, there we go. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's not bad or good. It's just meh, what it is. And that's the thing, though. The minute that you start being like, oh, that's bad, that's good, you might as well just take a sawn-off shotgun and go, footsie, blow off your foot. You might as well do that because it's the same thing when you just start polarizing, like putting it on the spectrum of good, bad. Yeah. Don't do that. Because the minute that you start seeing for what it is what it is. Not bad or good, just it. Things do not affect you as much. In fact, if something's trying to be like, that's bad. What's bad? Oh, that? Oh, I didn't even feel it. It's just how it is. But doesn't that bother you? No, this is what it is. And a lot of people, and I mean by a lot of people, I mean sometimes by stereotype, some people do believe and they have the viewpoint of like, oh, somebody has challenges with addiction and they just can't seem to get over it. There's something wrong with them. They're bad people, or like, oh, they're just wastes of life. That's all I gotta say. Did you just spit? Mm-hmm. Because that's what you do with scum of the earth. Don't look at me. They weren't acting like that in the first place. They wouldn't get the wet stuff out of me mouth on their face. Not that kind of stuff, you nasty, but still. The minute that somebody sees somebody else who is having a difficult and struggling with a challenge, that's sometimes even lifelong, if they're just judging somebody based off of that, which is something you really can't do because somebody's character, use that as a point to judge from. Whack. Because really, at the end of the day, the more time that somebody is all like, that's a bad person, they do like substances and they do illegal stuff like that. Oh, they're a bad person. They steal and they do whatever they have to do just to maintain the intoxication thing. No. Some people don't steal. Some people have the awareness of life. I'm not going to do that because that's not right. Yeah, but you never know. You never know. And besides, that's kind of like a stereotype. Now, people who enjoy their vices become dim-witted and overly selfish and willing to do whatever has to be done to keep that effect going. Mm-mm. And the way I love to look at it, it's like this. Oh, you're going to be, judging somebody over something that's just so unnecessary and something that can't be helped? Okay, here, hold my wine glass. Let's see. Now, let's see if I can find something about you that can't be helped and I can just smack you in the face with it. Oh, I got one. That nose. Ugh. It's like it came off of a hag's face. Ugh. I don't even think a plastic surgeon want to go near that because, trust me, it has moles all over the place. Nasty. Correct. I mean, it's the same thing. It's something that can't be helped. It is what it is about someone. Yeah, but don't swing at somebody's character just because of a challenge they have. That's even also like, the same example I just said. Somebody who, has a nose and it's just how it is. Looking at them and be like, oh, you must be a pretty nasty and unclean person having a nose like that. Keep sticking your nose in nasty places. No. But still, if somebody like that does take a swing at someone like that, well, there's your karma. Now you understand how it feels, so don't do it again. I play the violin, but I don't got one. But still, the idea still stands. If you can't take it, then don't dish it out. Because if you dish it out, if you can't take it, well, watch out and make sure to take cover and duck, because you never know when something's just going to come out of nowhere. Yeah, hit you in the side of the head. And another word of advice. Wise men once said, whenever someone says something that makes you go, oh, that's offensive, congratulations. You just told them what your weakness is. Good job. Now guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep poking at you with it. So don't tell them your weakness. Oh, you don't like being called that? Well, good. I'm just going to keep calling you that. Just to mess with you. Don't do that. Besides, it's like going into war saying, like, hey, everybody, this is our weak spot. Head here if you want to win. Okay, let's have this war go. Oh, good job, General. You just told them where, we have no defense at. Oh, yeah, that's the same thing. Don't whiff it. Don't make that whoopsie. Because you might appear on World's Dumbest Commanding General Officers of, World War Whoopsie. And you don't want to be on that primetime show. Wow, get it out of the bottle. Thank you. Yes, I'm greasing my palm with a jade roller. Whoa, really? A jade roller? You're jealous? You're jealous that you don't have a rolling thing of stone? You're jealous you don't have a rolling stone? Punny, I know. Yes, I don't get out much because I hate people. Well, not all people, just in general. Most people sometimes are purposely dim-witted. And sometimes I even think, are you really being this dim-witted just to make me feel like, wow, I feel so bad for you? Nope, that's not how I'm going to be feeling. I'm going to be feeling, are you still alive? That level of stupidity. And besides, they're not going to make a new Jackass movie. I hope. So don't even try to be in the next one. There's a violin play. Oh, I've almost been live for 2 hours. Again. What the? Okay. Oh, I'm getting old for this. Wow. I never heard of something so what? My boss says they need to approve my resignation. Your boss needs to approve you resigning from your position. Sorry, Cupcake, that's not how it works. I'm resigning from position. Like toodaloo, jackass. Mm-hmm. This world has gone good, but that's new. I hate having long eyelashes. No, really. Why the heck? Why in the heck do I need to have long eyelashes? They're completely useless. It's like, ooh, long eyelashes. Guess what? Lash, lashes to the eye. Ain't that just swell? Okay, that's not what I clicked on, but okay, phone. We'll open up a different app that had nothing to do with what I just touched. It's good enough. That awkward moment when someone tries to send a fake email trying to represent a company that like a big corporation, but one problem though. That awkward moment when they misspell Walmart and put Wellmart, WEL, Mart instead of Wall. Critical fail. Oh yeah, the long eyelashes. I want nothing to do with them. Anyway, it's been 2 hours. I'm probably gonna take my flight and take my leave because I'm exhausted. I gotta get up early in the morning. And yeah. So I'm gonna take my leave and I'll probably be live tomorrow. But anyway, have a good night. Be safe. If you're gonna do something, crazy, just make sure that nobody's looking so you don't get caught. So toodaloo, have a good night.